So in the West Bank, in Ramallah, there was a huge 10,000 person protest, and they started walking towards Jerusalem. I love that, okay? Now, of course, there's claims of violence, and then the Israelis shot at them, and first they say they had the rubber bullets, and then the crowd dispersal, and then 2 people were killed, and they say that they were throwing Molotov cocktails. I don't know. It's entirely possible that somebody in the crowd was, which is an incredibly stupid idea, right? It's also possible that there's propaganda on both sides, right? So, but if it was actually peaceful, a march, I would do that every day. I'd make that into 100,000 people. Everybody in the West Bank walk to Jerusalem.
But it has to be a march that doesn't say, we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the thing. If you're saying death to these people, who cares if you have 100,000 of them marching? They want to kill you.
Right.
I think that was assumed in your example.
Absolutely. No, what they've got to do is, we want our freedom. Like, the Palestinians are maddening. They are the world's worst marketers, right? So on Friday, they have a day of rage. But the West already is so prone to call you terrorists. Why would you do a day of rage? What's wrong with you? Why don't you do a day of sympathy, empathy? You know, hey, look at us. Instead of saying we're going to destroy them, which you have no hope of doing, and I hope you never come close to, why don't you say we want our freedom? I mean, come on. Isn't there any leader with any damn sense over there to say, let's take the 10,000 people, let's turn it into 100,000 and walk towards Jerusalem and say, enough is enough. 47 years. Just keep saying 47, 47, 47 and say, when is it going to be enough? Give us our freedom. We're occupied. Give us our freedom. And if you do it peacefully and you keep marching and the Israelis keep firing at you, I know a lot of people think it's
really
naive, but it's not.
that.
Eventually, the world will say, God damn it, enough is enough, right?
Yeah.
It happened in India. It happened with civil rights here. It happened in South Africa. It can happen in the occupied territories, too. But you got to do it the right way.
I agree with
It
you, but
wouldn't
it's
have happened
really...
in civil rights here if you had a group like Hamas leading the civil rights movement.
Well, but I
It
mean, there
wouldn't have
were
happened.
more extremist, prone to violence sections of the civil rights movement. Thankfully, they just didn't win
They
out.
weren't
They
the
didn't-
leadership of the civil rights movement, though.
Yeah. But I'm saying that perhaps we could see that switch over in Israel as well. Like there are Palestine as well. I mean, there are relatively more violent and relatively less violent factions. Right now, unfortunately, Hamas is winning in terms of public approval inside of the Palestinian community, but that doesn't have to be the case necessarily, especially after this occupation, or after this attack.
Look, Fatah can take on the role of Martin Luther King if Hamas is the more extreme version of the civil rights movement that existed,
There's no
right?
Martin Luther King in Fatah.
Well, look,
It's got to be somebody who comes from outside these
But even
organizations.
Shimon Peres, you know, who's been around forever, is now he's president of Israel, about to step down, and he's been prime minister before, etc. Says the best partner we've ever had for peace is Abu Mazen, who is the leader of Fatah right now. Okay, that's Mahmoud Abbas. And every American says it, every Israeli negotiator says it. He's as close as it gets. And now he's really unpopular because he won't resort to violence, whereas Hamas resorts to violence. And the Palestinians are enormously frustrated. So they think, well, Hamas is doing something. What are you doing, right? Well, then get up and march. Do it your way. Do it the peaceful way. And what you do, and if you're at the front of that march every day and you're willing to take the rubber bullets, that shows courage, right? And people respect courage. So if he was in the middle of that march and leading that march every day, I think all of a sudden the approval ratings in Palestine might begin to shift a little bit. Like, hey, Hamas says they're willing to fight back, but Hamas's leader is not in the occupied territories. He's comfortably somewhere else, right? But there's Abu Mazen ready to take a bullet for this, and he's marching in every single day, getting arrested if he has to every single day. And that's how you can make change. You've got to shame them into it.